screaming from your soul. We watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come on, set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down, a rush like I've not felt before. I can trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I would know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem out of reach, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. back your memories and set you up to take the fall. And in your mind, the clouds have been gathering. You may feel hopeless, but I'll never let you go. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and scream it from your soul. Oh, we'll watch him fall. Now your clouds are all gone. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. Today may be the last time I get to say your life's had meaning and you mattered most. The way you hold me like I am your everything has burned inside me, so we'll never be apart. Fly through the stratosphere and then I'll rip and scream it from your soul. Oh, we'll watch him fall. Now your clouds are all gone. Come and set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. I'll rip and screaming from your soul.
Ooh, with anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control. We are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. We are brought to you, of course, by Animal We Studios, and this is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Greeting and salutations, as Vash would say on another show that we do. Welcome to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. I am, of course, one of your lovely hosts tonight, your world champion Walk-ins, in case you guys are new to the area and all that. Hopefully you guys have had a good Monday. Some of us have not had the best of Mondays. Let's just say it's been a very, very off day for some of us. And as we get into the night, we'll see that it has been a very off night for a lot of us. But of course, again, if you guys are new here, we welcome all you new people, especially if you can come back to us. We enjoy the old people as well. But hey, introductions need to be in the way because I am never alone when we talk about this pro wrestling endeavor of ours. I have two lovely gentlemen above me. First and foremost, the man to the right of your screen. He is the one that always tries to keep things very positive. He's the one that tries to keep everybody, maybe a little bit happier from time to time and all that. He is a visionary. He is a revolutionary. He was also apparently not on the show tonight, so we gotta wait till next week to go see this other guy that's both of those things. But we have the man, the myth, the legend, D. Vash himself. Vash, how you doing tonight?
It's your boy, the Humanoid Typhoon, Legendary Vash, and it's a pleasure to be here on this show, on this coverage, the Monday after Raw coverage, because I know Raw itself has their own coverage, but they come out Tuesday morning. How about you check us out instead? But additionally, this is the last Monday that we will be live this early, because in the future, we're back to our 8 p.m. EST showing of Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. We will continue doing our sidecast starting next week with me and walking. So once again, so that'll be very exciting. And we'll be watching the no commercial free. So that'll be nice to see the full show. And then we go back to our 11:15 roughly EST show. So it's really exciting to see everyone here. Glad for everyone tuning in. Talking about one of the best Raw of this year. Not saying top 10, top 20, but literally right now I think we have had a good probably 15 shows roughly. And I would say one of the best ones, top 5 I would say.
All right, yeah, an argument probably could be made for that. You know, I'd have to go back and see everything and all that. But yeah, like Vash said, we'll be back with, you know, the sidecast stuff next week because we'll be at our regular 8 o'clock time for Monday Night Raw. But we'll talk about all that stuff when it comes to it. Now, of course, the gentleman to my left here, he is the one that kind of help us process these stories going on, especially when things kind of make us scratch our head and go, huh? What? Nani? Why is that? Yes, that is right. We have the man who claims to have the best knowledge of the stories. We have the genius of the mat himself. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We have Drop This Box here in the call. Drop, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and it's going to take some time getting back to that old schedule, I will say that. Because I did enjoy doing the shows early, getting it out of the way, having more time to do things that we normally don't have when we end at like 1 or we end at like 10:30 or so when we do, well, not, I wouldn't necessarily say that, usually around the same time for like both coverage shows, so it's nice we had this little break, but it's definitely going to take some time to get used to all that again.
And also, I saw a lot of people in the timeline say, don't ever do this European tour again. I'm like, yo, I actually enjoy this European tour. I was a bit confused by the concise of the online community. Like, say, don't ever do this again. When we're having another one in August, September, I believe. Yeah. And then 2, if they do this again, I vote for it. I'm okay with it because I like that 3 p.m. EST, 4 p.m. my time. It was nice. It's on Netflix. It's international, where people don't have to complain about illegal sites or nothing. So if you just get a VPN and Netflix, you're golden.
Yeah, and like
which
the thing
I will
is,
say, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
I was gonna say, like the thing is that they're gonna complain about like everything. I mean, we had a whole fake outrage for the whole El Grande Americano thing last week.
Oh, that thing.
And then we had an outrage on Friday.
Who we get to see next week.
Yeah. And then we had an
in his hometown.
And then we had an outrage with the main event for night 1 with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns because other people wanted to see other ones there, which I get that argument. But at the same time, if you follow the pattern of the past couple of years, Roman Reigns normally either starts a show or ends a show, and usually these past couple of Manias, he's always ending shows. So if you see his name in the spotlight, you shouldn't really think any different if this is something we've grown accustomed to. And you have 2 other big stars a part of that, so it's like it's right in your face, but it's just people don't. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, people just want to complain anymore, and don't worry, folks. You know,
I was gonna ask, would you guys still want to see the European tour come back, like you personally? Because I know I said like I would like for it. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, I
really.
love having my wrestling on at 3 p.m. Like I love that shit.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the pros for it because it's like I said, we could be wrapping this up around 10 o'clock or so, depending how we have our whole thing structured, and then we can go on and go do whatever else we had planned for the day before we go to sleep. So it definitely did come in handy a lot.
Yep, but did it come in handy for the shows themselves? And that's why we are here. We're here to talk about the shows, discuss them, maybe dissect a few things here and there. And yeah, this Monday Night Raw, I mean, Vash kind of alluded to it. It was a pretty good Raw. I mean, I had said to the boys before we started, there might be some nitpicks from me here and there, but I mean, if I'm to say it, like this was a pretty strong Monday night showing for the Red brand. I know, Sydney, you probably hear somebody outside, but guess what? Why are they outside when they could be inside listening to us here on the Weebs of the Ring podcast? So yeah, be sure to, stay tuned for when we go live for everything. Times will be changing, but I'm sure you guys will be here to enjoy the show. So let's dive right into it. We got our big headline story tonight. Finally, we had John Cena and Cody Rhodes, their final face-to-face for the next couple weeks. I mean, I'm putting air quotes here for now until we hear something else, but we'll get into that. But yeah, this is technically their final face-to-face before WrestleMania, and we're finally getting a promo back and forth between the two. So John comes out, but he's quickly interrupted by Cody, and Cody kind of lets it in. What?
Which I was happy about, that he actually interrupted him, before he started speaking.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be like a reversal where like Cody was the one to start us off, but this is fine as well. But like, yeah, Cody just comes out. He's just like, all right, there's so much ammo you could use to combat me, but how are we gonna do this? And man, the way they did this, I thought was really, really good, because like now we have a Cena, like we kind of got his answer, and I say kind of because I don't know if Cena's really fully on his own side or believes the words he says. There's still something missing here, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. That's why I gave you that look when you were saying that, because I remember when he cut his first promo, me and my mom were watching that, and she's like, the way that he's speaking, it almost seems like it hurts him in a way to say that, because that's not how he truly feels about those people. But he obviously knows this is what he's doing to play this character as of now. But I've noticed a lot of people online say, or at least from a couple people, because not everybody's saying it, but a lot of people are saying he sounds like a little cartoony. The way that he comes off, the way that he expresses himself when he's saying certain things, it almost seems like it's following a little pattern. But when you look at Cody's side of things, and we notice this with a lot of other people too, like with Punk or Roman, etc., so on, it almost feels like with them, it's like they're having a casual conversation of you pulling up a seat, looking you dead in the face, and asking you about your day, or just cutting a promo on you, something along the lines of that. It just feels like more natural, rolls off the tongue a lot better, almost like it's coming from that person's perspective. So I would have to say that's something I definitely notice as well. Like, not taking anything away from what he's done, but I will say it does sound a little cartoony, the way that he expresses himself. I guess the best way to say it is the delivery, because that was the difference between the both of them, I will say, when it comes to their delivery when they were going back and forth on each other, and that's something I noticed, like you said, with Cena.
Yeah, and yeah, it's very weird, because like a lot of the stuff that John was saying is a lot of stuff that people were saying about him. And he's kind of projecting that onto Cody. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, you're saying this about Cody, but we know what Cody's about. We know that he's somebody that has worked himself up and has, shown us the real him, and I mean, if there's still like a side of Cody that we haven't seen, then I mean, there's always multiple sides to everybody, but I don't know. There was something very odd about Cena's pro. Now, don't I say that, but don't get my words twisted, because this was really good stuff that they were saying and talking about. Basically, like, they were both mentioning how they both rode together. Cena basically called him a chauffeur throughout it. So it's kind of like we're playing on this like rags to riches kind of thing. It's just like, all right, great, you're finally this poster boy, but look at how you're dressing, look at how you're acting. You're acting just as the business wants you to, just as corporate wants you. You are the definition of the corporate champion, with whatever that might be in your mindset, with the suits, the ties, the just the overall presentation of Cody and all that, people singing him to the ring and all that. And that's why it was so weird with like Cena saying, if you strip all that, who is Cody Rhodes? And it's just like, it harkened back, and we've mentioned this with like the Charlotte Tiffany build. It harkens back to like Alexa when she had said that to Charlotte like eons ago. What it feels like who is Charlotte Flair without a title? Well, who is John Cena without the Fruity Pebble look? Who is John Cena without the jorts? Who's John Cena without the little towels? Who's John Cena without Stu the cameraman? Who is that guy? And I'm really hoping, and I doubt we're gonna explore it, but I really hope we do get a chance to kind of look into that this year with like this heel persona of Cena, because it's just like, who is John Cena beyond all of this? Because like now he's abandoned the fans, so what is he then? And I'm still holding on to the fact that like Cody's awakening a beast that I think is gonna be very, very terrifying come WrestleMania, and you kind of get that in this promo too, with Cena coming back at him at a couple times. I wish I could quote more from the promo. It's just I didn't get a chance to re-listen to it before we came on, but yeah, there were some really, really good lines in here, especially about like Cody leaving, John staying, and all that. Kind of mentioning Vince McMahon and everything. Like it was some good stuff going on. But Vash, what you think of the promo?
So what I think about the promo is, to me, one of the best out of the three. Like from the past three that we have had, to me this was my favorite, because we heard both of them on the mic, and both of them were going back and forth. A lot of people, me and Drop was watching during our Discord. If anybody wants to join our community, during the thread of Monday Night Raw, I literally was, just speaking my reaction, just speaking the highlight of how the conversation went, the promo went. And this was my favorite because they spoke, and I see where Drop is coming from, that he looks like, John looks like, if you ever saw, you're in an astral projection of who you are, and that's not really you. And that's what I feel like John Cena is. Like, that's just not John. That is somebody else playing John and his character. And it just shows that even on the mic, Cody did his best. A lot of people thought he was not going to hold his own. I like what even Cody went like, I forgot one of the lines. I feel like you have a lot of
He did.
You have a lot of meat on your mouth, and the same thing like your George. I believe it was one of the lines that was really executed well, and it was a a funny one.
Yeah, he said.
I'm looking at the lines that you put on here, so just to kind of refresh my memory.
Yeah.
But
anytime, I went very thorough. But Job, say what you're saying.
Oh no, I was just gonna add on to what you said. He says you have more dick in that promo than you do in your jorts.
Exactly, that's the one. I was not trying to butcher, and thank you very much, because that one was well executed. I didn't expect that one, and it was hilarious to me. It was something that Cody, and a lot of people don't know Cody either as a heel from back when he was in AEW or New Japan. He even did the Bullet Club sign when he pointed to WrestleMania, so that's also very beautiful to see as well, showing the other stuff that in one night we have Vince McMahon, TK also being mentioned in one segment. People were mad that like, why is AEW or Vince being mentioned in WWE? Like, why do these things happen? Instead, I'm like, bro, this is part of history, and there's other companies. There's literally other companies that were mentioned each other. There used to be a war between it was Disney and Nickelodeon Cartoon Network. There's things that was ECW and WWE. All these things happen between companies. And for AEW to be mentioned, where he said, hey, I will stop you right there. I believe Drop mentioned it during our watching that he did the 8 Mile, where Eminem will diss himself first before you even start. And he will say, look, if you're going to mention, I know what you're going to talk about. I have my list. I came from another company. I was at Stardust. You're versing Stardust for WrestleMania. All these things were highlight of who made him who he is today. So I love how he started that, and you're like, look, I'm going to stop you there. I know what you got. I know you got your ammo. I'm going to take the ammo for you, and I'm going to do it better myself because I know myself best. So I just love that. The flip of the coin.
Yeah, and I like to like some of the stuff too. Reading some of your notes from the Discord reminded me of a few things. The one line that Cena made, like, "Oh, I don't bury talent. I am talent. I bury mediocrity." It sends me back. oh my god, it did, because like it sent me
Ooh.
back to like 2010 SummerSlam. And if you guys remember what happened 2010 SummerSlam, that was WWE versus the Nexus. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you know your history, you know how Cena won that match and all that. And with Wade Barrett on commentary too tonight, to sit there and hear shit like that, I'm like, oh man, that had to sting a little bit, because like
It did. It
when
must
you,
have.
when you kind of look at some of the talent that was in the Nexus, like some of them were really good and made some great careers from themselves, but there were some that were
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I remember Heath Ledger being one of them that was really good as well.
Yeah, he was in there and he was pretty good with all that. But like it was that line, and it was the oh shoot, I just had it. Oh, son of a biz nacho. Oh, I just had it. No, I can't remember it now. Okay, we'll move on then, and if I remember it, I'll say it. So, the other thing I wanted to mention here too is they actually came to blows here.
Yes.
John like goes in for a blow on Cody, and Cody hits the crossroads. Now, why he did this though is very interesting, because out of all the chants that they kept mentioning to them each other back and forth with like, oh, saying you suck, saying that, just singing your song, what are you without your entrance?
Oh yeah, that line.
What
That
are
hurt.
you with all the jorts? The one that hit John the most
You can't wrestle.
was the one, where Cody was just like, nobody chanted to me that I couldn't wrestle. And like that's when it did get a little cartoony for me, when like John just like kept going like back and forth like this, because I feel like he was overselling that a little bit, but like there's a reason for that, which is very interesting, because we've seen like in later years Cena try to better his repertoire with like springboard stunners or like code reds or anything. So it's very interesting why that got me. Now, Vash, I saw you were reacting to that, so I'm gonna let you go first then with it. Why do you think that bothered John so much?
That
Why
bothered
do
me
you
as
think
well
that was
as
the
a John.
catalyst?
As a John fan, that bothered me as well, because I used to be a John Cena defender from back in the day, because I had other people tell me, oh, but he can't wrestle, he got the same couple moves. I'm like, yeah, but my argument was like, but he's still over them more than your guys. He got more champs and he's more on TV. So what you're talking about? And I do get the cartoony part, because I laughed because I saw a tweet about that today during the show, saying that the cartoony, and one of the person commented, I believe he has to watch our show or has the same mindset as us, because that person literally come and say, wrestling is live action anime, but with theater. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, that's why it feels a cartoon, because if somebody don't know, John Cena also acted in the movie that just got bought, Acme of the Coyote. He was in that film as well. So for John just to get that announcement today and also act cartoony, to me, was just a bit of break 4-4 in a way. But I felt like it hit him, because they kept calling him that for a good, I think, 3-5 years at least, like telling him that he can wrestle in chance. And that will take anybody up. Like, once you hear something like that from your past, where you got over from fans and you added more, like you said, Watkins, in your repertoire, and then you get caught, like, that's your trigger. Like, just hearing that shit, you will sound like, that's the tick that, you should have said that. That's the one that will throw me over the edge, and it did.
Yeah. And Drop, I'm gonna turn it to you too. I mean, same question. Why do you think that this was the thing to set Cena over the edge?
It's probably something that he's heard over the years, especially when it came to what he was talking about with the fans of his past two promos, when he came to the point where he was going up against all of their favorites, and he had people in the ring like Edge, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Batista, etc., so on. And you would think when he goes up against people like that, especially a Shawn Michaels, which is actually considered one of his best matches at that Monday Night Raw, a lot of people are like, oh my god, this is going to be a HBK carry job, because John Cena can't handle HBK. because, granted, HBK is known to have incredible matches, just like Bret Hart.
Yeah.
They're both great performers. So it's like it's probably something that like haunts him from his past, where he's like, oh great, I'm hearing this shit again. So it's like, I can definitely understand why he reacted the way he did when he said that to Cody. And I think it was a good thing to be mentioned as well, because it's like I mentioned on the show as well, it's that nice blend between what's going on behind the scenes and reality. Because what I liked about this promo that I wanted to mention as well is the fact that a lot of it felt real when it came to a lot of criticisms between both of these guys. What people say about Cena, the way he looks, the way that he pretty much puts himself out there in front of the fans, and then all the stuff about Cody, the way that he's always wearing suits, he's just an entrance, things along the lines of that. I liked how there were criticisms that was brought up between both of these guys, because it is something that people do say online when it comes to people that like these guys, and when it comes to people that don't like these guys. So I did really appreciate that part of the promo. And another thing I wanted to mention that we haven't touched on yet, besides the question you asked me, is I'm hoping now we can move on from the whole thing about Cody Rhodes not being able to handle himself against John Cena, because I've seen a lot of people mention that when he started this feud with John Cena,
and he mentioned it too.
Yeah, where he's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people that's afraid to go toe to toe with you on the mic, but I'm not. And I thought Cody was able to handle his own pretty well when it came to what he was saying towards John Cena. He wasn't stuttering. He pretty much just went, full beast mode on Cena and just tore him apart limb by limb, just like Cena was doing to him in return. It was definitely equal on both ends in my department. And if you analyze it a little bit more, maybe there was one person that one up the other, but at least from my point of view, it seems like both of these guys did very well here. So I don't want to hear stuff like that, because it's very weird especially when Cena's like, oh, you've been protected for so long and stuff like that. Because whenever
yes. I wanted to bring that up next, so yes, keep going. Yes.
Yeah, because when I hear stuff like that, it's like I told you guys before, like off the show, I'm like, if you don't have faith in your top guy, why are you pushing him to begin with? Why are you having this guy in these big matches, having promo segments with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, all these people that come in his direction? Why are you having him have programs with these guys if you don't have faith with him cutting a promo with John Cena? Because if I'm going to come out here and say, when it came to the people that were able to stand their ground with John Cena, there's very little people that was really able to do that. And I'm going to name them right now. CM Punk. The Miz did a very good job as well. I'm going to throw him in there. And even The Rock, even The Rock, when they first started things off all those years ago. And now you can throw Cody Rhodes in that conversation now, because I personally believe, in the bottom of my heart, I personally believe that he deserves to be put on that list, because he proved a lot of people wrong tonight. And a lot of people even admitted that they were wrong when it came to how he presented himself. They're like, okay, I admit I was wrong. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't have made this. I'm sorry if I come out as a dick when I say this, but you shouldn't be making accusations like that to begin with if you've been following his journey since he came back and what he did before he was in the company. Like, what the fuck are you even saying at that point? And before I just pass it to you, I want to mention the thing that MJF said as well that we were talking about.
Yeah.
When it came to, both companies mentioning each other, because AEW does it. There's a whole compilation list. You see it all the time. WWE does it every so often when it comes to certain people. If it's like against Cody or Punk or whatever the case may be. It even happened recently with Ricky Saints and Sean Spears saying, if things don't work out here, you can always go back there. But yet again, that's probably not a possibility because you burn bridges and we know that's not going to happen. So it's like... I want to read what he said right here. He's like, I truly don't get why fans get up in arms when WWE mentions or references AEW, or when AEW mentions or references WWE. if you want to be treated like children, watch Elmo, or better yet, tell Vince to start a new promotion. Because it's true. It's like, why are we? Because I even saw it online. It's like, why are we seeing these posts where it's like, for the past couple days, you know, these certain people from WWE, like Cody, like the whole thing with CM Punk mentioning about I work with children, or what Cody said tonight. It's like, well, why are you bringing this up, saying, oh, but they're saying stuff about the other company, but yet your company's doing the exact same fucking thing. So, I mean, that's why I agree with what MJF's saying here. It's like, they both balance off each other. It's good for business for them to work with each other in that department, because it's all a part of history at the end of the day. And if you want to make these captivating storylines to really draw a lot of people in, which it obviously did, because a lot of people are talking about it online and making all these stupid posts, like MJF was saying, then you wouldn't, you know, then we wouldn't really be having a lot of this. Like, I guess the best thing to say, we wouldn't really be having wrestling so hot as it is if there's no competition between both parties. I mean, that's why things are so good to where they are. When you see someone caught in a promo, it's all part of the story and everything. So it's like, why are we getting like upset about that? I mean, oh my God, what Vash said earlier: Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, Disney, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, certain people that are rap artists having beef with one another. Shots. Yeah. You got Marvel.
There's a whole.
You got Marvel and DC. Oh, who's better between Spider-Man or Superman and Batman, or Spider-Man, Wolverine, wherever the case may be. Or if it's like one of those things, who's better between Freddy and Jason? Is Adventure Time better? Is regular show better? It's like, you know, things, Mario or Sonic. It's like Pokemon, Digimon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, it's a common thing in society. It's like, why are we getting so worked up over it?
Yeah, let me add.
Go ahead, Vash. Yes, go.
It's really dumbfounded when people want to be thrown up in the arms when it comes to big companies, but then they get excited like, oh, we have a contract partnership with WWE and TNA. Oh my God, WWE in the commentary, they mention New Japan, they mention the Lucha the Luchador Underground or Underground Luchador, one or the other.
Yeah.
But they mention these other promotions, but when they want to mention the bigger companies of WWE and AW, it's fucking like, oh no, you can't mention those two together. Why the fuck not? You literally have two big companies mention each other. That means they're respecting one another for what they have done, even if they have feud business, feud money, things going on. Fuck off. Yeah, I need to calm down. Like, I literally, like, it adds layers and backstory, because you know what? If they didn't mention this, we would have not heard this line. For starters, I have a list. I have an arm tattoo buzz on my neck. I got booed in the company I created. Imagine him not able to say that. Adding, oh yeah, you guys have not seen me for the past 8 years, but I can't tell you why. Or imagine them trying to hide things like, hey, you was a company creation by the guy that we can't even mention no more. I love that line too, because I love that even John said that you are a product that is protected, and I love how Cody just literally spat back, said word, but you are literally a company creation by Vince, the guy that we can't even mention, that you got created, became Super Cena, you was champion. Why do you have 16 belts? It's because of Vince being being the babyface for almost 5 years straight.
Exactly,
and you're saying, hey, I'm like, Cody, come on, John. But story-wise, and it's just hilarious how fans would be mad, like, hey, this is this promo or this. No, this was one of the best promos, because they both spoke back and forth. They both said one another. The first week was John Cena. The second week was Cody giving the last words, and now this week the both was at 100. I don't think any of them lost. Both of them said what was said, and I love how both of them backfired to one another. I'm satisfied as a fan of Cody, who he is now, a fan of him as Stardust back then, and a fan of John Cena back when he used to be the aggression to now who he is. I am a fan of both, and I want both to win or lose, and I'm here for it. Do I have a choice right now? Do I have a prediction? No, do not. Do I care at the moment who wins or loses? At this moment, no. But for story-wise, I'm okay with whichever, because at this point in the beginning, I thought John Cena could win, but also if Cody wins, it depending where the story goes. But at this moment, both of them had a great promo, and for anybody that has tribalism up their ass, continue putting that shit pegging up your ass, because y'all are too much of it.
Yeah.
Let's not get too crazy with Stardust now. Hold on. Let's not get too crazy with that being a good thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I did it for what it was. It could have been a lot better for me. I'm not saying it was.
Would it led to? Yes, but
Well, let's yes. Was it great week to week? No, we had horrible time. But it led to where it was, the pictures, the fun, the gimmicks, and even now, just knowing that if you was there, growing up with it, like you can laugh. Like, hey, you wrestled Stardust at WrestleMania. Who would have thought your chauffeur would have been your opponent for WrestleMania 41? And I don't know about you guys. Like, one of the other things I want to mention, because I know Watkins also started us off in the beginning of our discussion, saying how this felt like John was missing a piece of him, or this don't sound like him. I also feel like he's finally closing a chapter of who he is as John Cena, as Super Cena, as a wrestler who doesn't have to come back no more to reignite or realive any of these wrestlers. Like, I feel like now that what he is, he's closing that chapter. That, like, he's just like, hey, I buried these people. They were mediocrity. I am talent. But now that he's not here consistently, and now that last year, we have the Cody, we have the Seth, we have the Simpa, we have the Jey Uso, the Jimmy. We have other superstars that are slowly rising to that could carry the company, like Roman has or Cody have. Like, they are gonna get there by the next 2 years, while Cody is still here, while Roman is Seth, but the other superstars going up. So I feel like John is just passing that torch, like, hey, I am finally done with this shit. Cody is yours and others. Now, after this year, we're just going to see him in suits, which I'm curious to see how's that going to go. But just, that's what I was getting from this promo. Like, we're seeing this hoorah. Like, what he means, the last time is now. We're seeing this journey.
Yeah. Drop, you had a,
What I was going to mention is, like, the whole, thing where he said he was created by the company. The reason why I really like that line is because there's a lot of truth to that, because it started with Hogan and then it went to he tried doing it with Warrior, he tried doing it with Brett, he tried doing it with Shawn, he tried doing it with Stone Cold, The Rock, he tried doing it with John Cena. All these different kinds of people to really mold to be the next top guy. And the way that we saw everything back then, and even with the way Cena talks about Vince when it came to how they worked together and all the things that Vince loved with him and how protective Vince was over him because he didn't want to turn him heel because Cena was bringing him a lot of money and they were doing great things. I like how he brought that up because Cody was nothing compared to that. So the fact that he's brought some truth into that to really help the audience reflect and be like, hey, you know, he's got a point here because, I mean, how does 16 titles a thing without really being pushed down people's throats like Cena was all
without
those
being
years
protected.
ago? Exactly, about being protected. And like you mentioned before, like all the people that he had to run through to really get to where he was. So it's like I that line definitely holds a lot of weight because Cody was nothing. He was a guy underneath Randy's wing. Nobody cared about him. Vince made him do these stupid gimmicks, the whole Stardust thing. He had to go back, rebrand himself to be who he is. So if anything, he created himself. He didn't have anybody else to lean on and be like, you need to be the American Nightmare. You need to do this and that to really bring yourself to who you are now. Like, no, he did all this on his own. He created AEW. He went off from there, and he's in this position now, all because of his hard work. So it's like, that's why I really enjoyed that line. I wanted to throw in there.
And like, so, because I keep going back and forth with this how this segment ended, because and I'm sitting here because again I only got to watch this once and only kind of process it the immediate time, so in my head I'm still kind of like trying to rationalize everything and trying to like focused to see different aspects, different things going on. Because like at first, because my one big nitpick from all this, I didn't, and this was at first, I wasn't a fan of them getting physical here. I was like, well, we could have saved it for Mania, and that would have been fine. And but what kind of turned me around, and it's something I put in our notes here, and literally in real time right now, it was kind of processing what we might be doing or what we might be leaning towards. So Cena's just laying on his ass, staring up at the stars, counting the lights in the ceiling and all that after eating a crossroads from Cody. And at first, I'm thinking, oh well, yeah, I didn't like that because it could have just been a thing where like John just sits up, grabs a mic, and be like, "Man, Roman was right. That finisher does suck." Try to be all meathead about it. But what really kind of turned me around is Cody's face, because like sitting here as we were talking about it, I keep going to how this segment ended and how Cody was leaving, and like Cody in a way. I don't want to necessarily say he was scared or really nervous or anything, but he had this odd look of concern on him. Almost to the point of what he may have done and what he may have awoken. And it just goes back to that mentality I have. It's just like you may have unlocked the Superman that will not hold back. Because that's the thing. Cody's not stupid. He doesn't just pick fights just to pick fights. He chooses his spots carefully, and he's willing to go the distance and do whatever he needs to in order to get the job done. I mean, hell, we were sitting here watching the damn Royal Rumble when he put Kevin Owens through that ladder as he did. So the man will go to many lengths to keep his title and to keep his reign and all that. But I don't know, the look he gave after hitting John with that crossroads and walking away, it's I don't know, something didn't sit right with me there. Where again, it could be a Cody that might actually be terrified of losing that title at Mania. I don't know. Am I looking too deep into it? Talk to me, guys. What did you guys kind of pick that out as Cody was walking away? Drop. I'll start with you with that first.
I didn't really look at it that way when I was watching it. I kind of just looked at it as like a closing segment where he was just trying to one up him, or take out like a quick cheap shot. Because I have a feeling, since Cody was mentally prepared beforehand when it came to the kind of things that John Cena was going to say to him, I already felt like off the bat, he probably knew what he was getting himself involved with, especially if you look at what Cena has done over the years. So he probably knew in the back of his head, like, okay, I know how this guy is. I know who Super Cena is. I know how this guy goes on a warpath when you really awaken the beast inside of him, kind of like how it came to when he was feuding with Reigns and he saw how wild Reigns can get, or even with The Rock last year as the final boss, really pushing his buttons. Because from there, you looked at it as like a guy really putting his foot down because he won the Royal Rumble this year, and then he cut that whole segment, ruined their whole moment. And then he got slapped across the face with Rock. He got beaten up in the parking lot, but he was still able to get the job done when it came to certain things. So I feel like he knows what he walks himself into. So, to me, at the very least, I didn't particularly look at it like that. Could there be some thoughts? Could there be some motivation behind that? Sure, but I would think and I would hope, because I would react the same way if I was involved in a feud with Cena, that I would know what I'm dealing with if I really want to get through this guy so I can move on to whatever challenge is up ahead for me.
Yeah. And I mean, I could see that too. It's just like, I'm glad you mentioned the parking lot brawl last year with The Rock. Because if you guys remember, when I started this little segment, John's gone for the next couple weeks. It's like, you know, we say that, we say, oh yeah, he's going to be gone, he's not going to be in and all that. It just, I don't remember seeing anything about him being gone or like being, because most of the time when he hasn't shown up, it's just like, oh yeah, John is going to film this thing for a couple weeks or whatever, and then he'll be back to do the thing. I haven't seen anything like that yet that pertains to him not being there.
That's why I'm not stressing when the online community say, "Oh, John's not gonna come back and throw something." Like, no.
Yeah.
Why are you guys getting upset? This been a company of WWE that will always speak to their people before weeks in advance, days in advance. Like, hey, can you make it for this Monday? Like for example, hey guys, if you don't know, you guys have a calendar. If you look on your calendar, there is Monday the 7th and Monday the 14th. We have 2 Mondays left before we have Friday 18th, 19th, and 20th for WrestleMania weekend. So we have John for 2 more Raw, or the 11th and 18th for 2 more SmackDowns. We have feuds to go on, and we also have The Rock, his boss, the leader of that feud. We also have Travis Scott that could show up anytime, because there's been a tweet saying that if Travis Scott shows back to the ring, he might get his receipt. So people getting mad that, oh, he's not scheduled. How about that's a good thing? Let us get fucking surprised that we might actually see him on the 14th. Yeah. Hey, you know, Cody's coming out, and then we hear the surprise song come on, and we're like, wait, he's not supposed to come here. Guess what, Chad? It's a week before the show, so guess what? Yeah. He should be fucking here. Why should he? Just because he's not publicly known, don't mean that the schedule's not there booked yet. Just don't want us to know.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing that you could also throw in there as well is that a lot of people complain that there's not a lot of surprises anymore, where we already know what's happening so we actually see it. So the fact that, so it's the fact that people want something to happen out of the blue, like, oh my god, this person is returning, or this person's debuting, or like, you know, whatever the case may be. People always want a surprise, that shock factor, where you would see people react online like, holy shit, what the fuck, you know, Cena's here? I didn't expect him. He wasn't announced for the show. So it's like, you want things like this, but yet when you don't know when it's happening, you get upset about it. That's why a lot of people say, and that's why that Bryan promo holds a lot of weight. I would say very well stays in one spot where people are fickle. They want one thing, but then they want this, they want that. It's like, you get it, but then you want something else. It's like, you're not happy with whatever you're getting, and it's just a fucking loop.
Yeah, you're just stuck in this loop of just not being satisfied and all that. And I mean, I get it too. You want like some sort of satisfaction with it, but like, man, that surprise factor. Like, I remember that Raw when The Rock just showed up and whipped Cody's ass. Like that, the whole Mama Rhodes thing. That's how that stemmed so many theories too, about like people coming back, like Cena, like Stone Cold, because of the trailers and all that. Like, we still have a couple weeks left. We can do something more to it, and that's why, like, that. See, and with that in mind, that's why I kind of looked at Cody's face like that. It's just like, you know, again, like I didn't want to say like nervous or scared or anything like that. But it's like, I can't think of any other words other than that, because it's just like, you did this to Superman. Like, you literally punched him in the face, sent him flying across the world, hitting multiple skyscrapers and all that. And he just kind of sat there and just like, all right, fine. Like, and that just might be my whole, like, melted mindset or, like, brain rot of just nerd comic book stuff and all that. It's just, I just keep going back to that Superman thing, where it's just like, when he finally lets loose, because it's like, yeah, you could say you know what he's capable of, but then he shows you what he's actually capable of and is able to freaking tank a damn supernova to the face. Like, bruh, when Cena walks up and Cody tries to like hit him with the triple crossroads and he just no-sells it. Oh, okay. All right, we're in WrestleMania season, and you just no-sold my ultimate finisher. Shit. Like it's just things like that. But again, that could also just be brain rot because comics and all that shit. But yeah, it's just I feel like we still got one other thing I think that's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks, especially on Raw. I don't think it's gonna happen on SmackDown because SmackDown kind of handles some other stuff, mainly like the triple threat that we're going to be getting to. They've mainly been handling that.
For some reason, we're having the champion of SmackDown on a Monday night show when they're supposed to be on SmackDown. Interesting. Just something to point out.
I've made my complaints about that.
I might be the one person that doesn't particularly mind that, only because it's Mania season. So I kind of let that get out of jail free card pass because I mean, to be fair, you got Bianca on Raw challenging for a Raw title, so it's kind of like should be okay for this time being because she's technically a SmackDown superstar, but she's been on Raw dealing with Iyo and Rhea. So it's like Mania season. It's normally a thing where it's like, okay, that's fine because technically, because it wouldn't be fair if you won the Royal Rumble and you're like, okay, you're a part of this brand, you're against that person. Like, no, the rule's always been you get to choose who you want. If fucking Jay wanted to go after Cody, he could have gone after Cody. If Charlotte wanted to go after Rhea around that time, or even Iyo now, she could have had every right. That's just how the rules work, and that's just how things operate. So it's like this time, I don't mind, but it's like a little bit later in the year when there's no special programs. That's when I have an issue with it, but not particularly now.
Yeah. And my main complaint with it was to have the focus of the championship because I didn't want the world heavyweight title to just be pushed to the side and all that, which, I mean, we'll get to here in just a minute about the world heavyweight title picture, how that's finally gearing up and all that. It's just equal opportunity for everybody, or somewhat equal. We know there's hierarchies. I get that, understand that, but whatever. We'll talk about those as we continue on. But any other closing thoughts on this big story? Because I mean, I know there's a lot of layers to kind of dissect, but I think there's still a lot we can explore throughout at least the next 2 weeks, if not most of the year, when it comes to Cena's heel run, if he's gonna be healed the rest of the year.
I will say that as of now, those are all my thoughts on it. I am expecting at least another confrontation between both of these guys before Mania, because it kind of feel really weird if you just have this and then they meet up at Mania and all that, because it just feel out of place. It doesn't really make sense to do something like that, but that's all I have for now.
Yeah. All right. Alrighty then. Vash, any closing thoughts before we move on?
We were passionate enough. We were serious enough. We gave our thoughts. We gave our complaints. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, talking about some more thoughts and possibly no complaints, we're going to move on to that right there, our World Heavyweight title picture with Gunther taking on Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41. Tonight, we had Jimmy Uso taking on Gunther to kind of hopefully instill some sort of fire inside Jay. Right now Jay's still got some fire, but maybe kind of boost him up a little bit to that main event Jey Uso that we all know and love that he can be. And I mean, I'll say this much, I think the plan kind of worked, but not in the way they were hoping for. Because the match happens, and honestly, it's kind of what I expected with Gunther, taking out Jimmy and doing things oh, let me hit this power bomb. 1, 2, nope. I'm gonna lift you up. Now I'm gonna do a boot and a clothesline. 1, 2, nope. Back up. I'm gonna do more damage. Because I kind of do that in 2K25 sometimes. I'll just hit a finisher. I'm just nah, I'm not done with you yet, boy. I'm not done with you yet. Kick to the face, things like that. And it leads to post-match beatdown on both him and Jay, and Jimmy's just left decimated. This boy, we witnessed a a mugging on our hands tonight, folks.
Well, say a murder. We saw what Randy did to Stephanie McMahon when Triple H was handcuffed to the ring, but it was more worse because with Stephanie it got eliminated because hey, we're back then we got to be careful and everything. Now we got man to do it. Oh, I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna get you bloody and also wipe the blood of my enemy on my face. Look like a battle just happened. Look like I am in my enemy's blood bathe. I'm like, okay, Gunther, copy.
Gunther,
look but works for you.
Gunther was in full-on supervillain mode tonight. And
He was. I was here for it.
Every bit of it.
Same. I was here for it in the best way possible because one, look, I enjoy Gunther. I'm a Gunther fan. But as you guys know, I'm the positive one out of the group. So that means I would usually vote for the baby face or vote for the good stuff to come out. Gunther doing this is showing that sometimes you gotta have your bad guy be triumph. Is he gonna be triumph on every battle? No. But sometimes you gotta have him triumph and look triumph more than the past couple weeks, other than putting our main guy to go to fucking sleep. I'm sorry. At some point, it gets tired to see our main guy Jay minivan Jay, so just go to sleep. That's not fun. That doesn't build a story. One time, cool. The second time, add more to that. But if you put him to sleep again, no. When it comes to having him zip tie, I'm okay with that. I'm glad the camera didn't really zoom in because at first I thought the zip tie wasn't too tight, so it looked like he was loose, but also had to make it look very believable. So I'm glad that the camera shot pan away, so he could probably Jay had to make it tighter for himself, not to look like to get out much easier. Because guys, if you have never played with zip ties, they're strong. But you could break them with enough anger and frustration. So I was hoping that if Jay did break enough, the zip ties helping Jimmy, I wonder if that was going to happen. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Jay was about to be like Hulk. Be like, you know what? Fuck this. Bye. Just break zip ties, just go against Gunther. But I think we're going to build up to that because later at the end, I don't know if you guys heard it, but I heard it in another clip that Jay said, yo, I'm going to stomp your ass, or I think he said, I'm going to kill your ass. So it's one of those others, but I prefer I'm going to kill your ass to make it look more like, yo, you crossed the line, you did it to my brother. And I don't know, I wasn't there for 4 years ago, but I know you guys were, so you guys can fact check me. Wasn't this something similar when Roman versus Jay, and it was a quit match, and Roman put Jimmy to sleep, if I'm correct, as well?
Yeah,
or like did a lot of damage to put him like that? Am I wrong in that aspect?
When it comes to like Roman wanting Jay to pretty much submit in that scenario, yes, but I don't recall it being as violent as this was.
Yeah, it was not as violent. Like at least the caveat with that one was Jimmy was like coming back from injury or was still injured at the time. Yeah. So it's like he really shouldn't have been in the ring in the first place, let alone a Hell in a Cell I Quit match. So it's like, okay, Roman, you shouldn't do this. And like it was as soon as Jay said he quit that Roman stopped. It was more of just like kind of like an alpha male trying to assert his dominance.
Yeah.
This was straight up villainy. Like this was just strapping your hero and taking his brother and basically like this was if the android during Future Trunks' timeline, if they took Trunks and like handcuffed, like bound him by energy rings or whatever to a mountain and just kicked the shit out of Gohan like right in front of Trunks and all that, like that's what this was right here. And then Trunks at the end of it is just looking at a lifeless Gohan right there, and then he turns Super Saiyan. Oh my god,
yeah,
Jey Uso's about to turn into Trunks now.
That's what I hope for. Like this was a good build up.
Another thing is, it's almost like what happened in the war arc with Deku and Bakugo.
Yeah.
Like the final war arc where like Bakugo's getting the shit beat out of him. He quote unquote died.
Yeah. So. Look, okay, no, you know what? Side tangent. If you're gonna do it, and I don't give a shit if this is fucking spoilers for MHA. The manga's done. Read it.
That final season's coming out this fall.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a fake out death, exactly.
It's fair game.
If you're gonna do a fake out death, don't have a child's heart explode. I don't give a shit if
Yeah.
he's freaking an explodey boy or anything. I saw that manga panel. I saw the hole in that boy's chest.
Yeah.
Oh, but you could save a heart if you stitch it close. I don't give a shit. The boy's heart exploded. Oh,
Look.
but science says I don't care.
It's
The
anime
heart exploded.
in a fantasy world that's Earth with creative superpowers. Hey, we have a guy that wears glasses and gets fooled by a whole metropolis city that sees him every day without glasses or not. But hey, some things are believable. One thing I like to add a wrap up about this. One thing is I'm curious to see. I'm sure you guys have seen it on the timeline. Jay and Roman having a conversation since Jimmy is out of commission. I wonder if we're gonna get Jay and Roman, because Roman used to say, "Yo, Jay, you was the next in line for being the tribal chief. You was the right hand man. You was gonna become and became main event." But what's going on? What happened to this? You had it. You was doing good. You became IC title. Now that you lost it, you're not being who you are. So I wonder if we're gonna get that, because sometimes but also it's tough since Roman is also dealing with his own shit, also questioning Paul, be like, hey, so what's the actual favor is. So I don't know if we're gonna have time for Roman and Jay confrontation to bring Jay back up, but I like how we're building up and connect everything. So I don't know, or maybe it could help each other. Roman helps him, and Jay could also help Roman. I don't know.
Like,
How do you guys feel?
Honestly, I would save an interaction like that for after Mania. So after Jay wins the title, you could have Roman, because like at that point, if the whole thing with like Paul leaving Roman happens, because if you guys remember, like months ago, one of my biggest criticisms of Roman coming back as a face is he's still the same person. He has yet to really fully apologize to Jay. Like, he still did just the whole yeet thing, and just like his one apology, it kind of felt half-assed. So like I feel like after Mania, when Jay holds a world title and whatever happens at Mania happens, the first step for Roman's true character growth can be going up to Jay and being like, "Oh, I'm proud of you, Oos," like something like that, I get the mindset of like, oh, maybe he should go up to him before then and all that. But like, I think after tonight, Jay has enough fire and enough fuel, to really push it on his own. And like, and that's just my mindset with it too, and all that. But yeah, I would rather that interaction after Mania.
Yeah, and my initial thoughts on this, really, like, I don't really want to say anything about the match itself. It's really what happens after the match that really carried this story, like, heavy. And it was, well, and we definitely needed it. And I liked how it went down the direction that I expected it to go down, because a lot of people were saying, this needs to end in a bloodbath. This needs to end with Gunther just ripping Jimmy apart and everything. And that's exactly what happened, because one of the things that a lot of people want out of this whole entire feud between Gunther and Jay is to have like a serious Jay, not always cheating, not always doing his usual stick, like actually doing something to really show that he's really in this and he just wants to rip Gunther apart. And you had the early stages of that last week, where it's like, okay, now you got that self-doubt. His brother comes in, tries to build up his confidence. You get another interaction with him backstage. Warns Jimmy about Gunther. They have the match. You see what happens. He almost looks like something that came out of a horror film, the way that Jimmy looked. Like, that was a pretty crazy bloodbath between the both of them. It wasn't those typical things. It's like, okay, I'm hitting him a couple times, he's got a couple spots on his face. Like, no, literally full crimson mask. Gunther's bathing in it, really playing that villain role very well. And it's just something that Jay needs to be like, you know what, I really want to fuck this guy up. It's like watching somebody that you're really close to die in front of you. Like, if you guys remember in Spider-Man No Way Home, or just with Spider-Man as a whole, seeing Uncle Ben die, the way it motivated them, or when it comes to Tom's case, you know, seeing Aunt May die from the Green Goblin, and it really pushed him over the edge, and he became a different person. He wanted to go down a path of vengeance. He wanted to kill Goblin, which is normally not in Spider-Man's character to ever do something like that. And then the other Spider-Man had to remind him that they've been down that route before, and that's not the route to go. But that's the route that Jay's going on, because like he said, he even alluded to it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to crash out. I'm going to do this or that. This is the perfect crash out moment. So I don't expect Jay to come out next week where he's doing this. He's getting along with the crowd. He's coming from the crowd when he's doing his entrance. I don't expect that. I expect the next time he sees Gunther, he fucks him up. Or, if it were me, just completely rip this motherfucker on the mic. Just completely decimate him in a way where it's like you just want to bury this guy alive, in a sense where it's like you're venting out all that frustration, you're saying all this shit towards him, you're having that main event Jey Uso, the guy that won the Rumble, the guy who became main event Jey Uso, the right hand man. And we'd seen how that Jay was before when he was a heel. He was vicious. He didn't give a fuck. He said whatever he wanted to say. He didn't put up with Sammy's shit. He didn't put up with anybody's shit. He didn't put up with Roman's shit. When he turned on him, he didn't give a fuck about nobody. And that's the fact, and that's the Jay you're going to see amped up to a whole new fucking level, especially when you witness something like that. And also kind of, it was like a little parallel to what Randy did too, the Triple H all those years ago. Not the same level when it comes to the blood, but it's like mentally fucking with Triple H, doing things to his family, doing what he did to Stephanie McMahon, really trying to get into your opponent's head. It reminded me of that, where it's like Gunther even said he really wants to just fuck Jay up so much mentally and physically, and this is the Jay that you're getting. And I feel like this is all being done by design, because this is what WWE is trying to do. They're taking what people say online, they're making it into a storyline. When it came to him going over the rope, or that spot he did last week where he tripped, they're making it into a storyline to blend it in with reality and what's going on behind the scenes. That way it's like, it feels a little legitimate in a way when it comes to the overall approach of how people feel about Jey Uso as a whole, because you see the criticisms every single day. And I truly think this is going to bring Jay to his best match when it comes to one-on-one competition with Gunther. Like, I expect this match to potentially be a show stealer, potentially, when it comes to like a true breakout performance, a match you can look at when it comes to Jay's career, that really, he's already over, and he's already a future Hall of Famer to begin with, just by the tag team action he does alone and what he's done so far as a singles performer. But when it comes to carrying him on into the main event scene, like a true main event scene as a world champion, this match of Gunther's gonna put him on the top of the mountain, where I actually do, and I would hope you get some color in this. You need to have color in this match at Mania to really show that hatred, to really awaken that beast in Jay. No, it's not going to just be spears. It's not just going to be Uso splashes. It's not going to be just super kicks. Not going to be a poison Rana that Jay does every so often. It's going to be some stuff to really make Gunther look in the mirror and be like, I should have never awakened to this guy.
Yeah. And I love too just how villainous Gunther was here, because it wasn't just like a simple, oh, I'm tying you up and you're all freaking out in the corner because you can't get to me and Jimmy. No, it was more than that. It was teasing him with the title. Oh, you want this? You want to touch it? Oh, you gotta be quicker than that. Oh, you gotta be closer than that. Oh, you can't get closer. Oh, what a shame. And then like do something to Jimmy and be like, oh, here's Jimmy's lifeless body. Don't you want to touch it? Don't you want to like grab his hand? Oh, I'm gonna pull it away and kick you away, and choking him down. Like, it was that mental battle, like mental battles we haven't seen probably in such a long time with WWE. Like, yeah, you see, like, you hear, oh yeah, they're playing mind games with them, and it's usually just like stuff on the mic or whatever, but like this was some true mind game stuff. Like, again, very super villain in a way, just like, oh, you wish you could get to them. It's I mean, we're gonna keep throwing references and all that stuff. It's literally when you go back to Star Wars Episode 1 with Phantom Menace, and it was during the fight with Mace Windu, not Mace Windu, shit. Fuck. Darth Maul. Yeah, it was the Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon fight.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's right where Qui-Gon dies, but like the barrier's up there, and like so Obi-Wan's just like, no, no, he's dead, no, and like there's just this stare down, and like Obi-Wan can't get through that barrier because it's still up, but Darth Maul is just like pacing back and forth. Very similar vibes here with Gunther, where it's just like you see your downed partner here, your downed brother. Don't you wish you could help him? Oh, it must be a shame. Yeah, I'm right here. You want to fight, don't you? Come on. Come on, you can get through that barrier. Oh, you can? Oh, all right, whatever. But, like, yeah, it's just really, really good stuff that we got here. Yeah, it needed to amp up to this kind of level this close to WrestleMania. It's just, what do they do next? And I'm excited for what they do next. I'm hoping next week it's more of a level-headed Jay, where it's like, I need to get more serious with things. And hey, if we weren't getting so many pull-apart brawls, this would be the best time to have a pull-apart brawl with these two.
Yeah.
Having them confront each other and having to be pulled off not only by security guards. There have been times, like in the past, where it's been the whole damn locker room coming out to pull these people apart. Like, if we're gonna do another pull apart brawl with these two, have something on that level happen, where it's like literally, or maybe you guys might remember this too. The build up for the triple threat with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, they were getting arrested and they were still fighting, and like Charlotte kicked Ronda's face through that police car window. Like, just shit like that, man. Like, make this visceral, make it like biting, make us like really want the downfall of Gunther now, And I mean, they've got a really good moment here with this, so I'm excited for what's to come, and it sounds like the team's excited for what's to come. Any final words about the World Heavyweight title picture from the men's side?
I'm glad they're finally kicking things up and actually having more build than just, hey, I can't do shit. Hey, botches and stuff. I like story. The brother being involved was a good 100% great decision. So I'm here for it.
Yep. Okay. Well then, let's go ahead to like kind of the mid card stories and all that, or at least the stories that aren't top of the card level, at least, or at least in some aspects and all that. And that's, again, no slight to anybody whatsoever. But we do have the women's world title picture. We had Iyo Sky defending against Rhea Ripley. And hey guys, did you know that this was the first time that Bianca has ever refereed a match? Because commentary kept telling you every single moment that they could that it was the first time she refereed a match.
No, I wasn't aware.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I wasn't aware either. So thank you, commentary, for telling me all night that this is Bianca's first time refereeing a match. So besides this match being Bianca's first time refereeing and all that, it was really good. It was really good between Rhea and Iyo. Like, these two have great chemistry with each other in whatever aspect they can, and I'm glad we did put a little wrinkle in this by having Bianca referee for the first time, because getting her involved in this aspect was really good. I think this might have more of my nitpick with it, though. I think this would have worked better for why Rhea crashed out a couple weeks ago. I think if she was somehow inserted as the special guest referee the first time around, maybe we wouldn't have so many issues with Rhea just getting distracted with Bianca and all that. But like, you would have to do a lot of kind of workarounds to even make that a thing. But yeah, I mean, I thought the match was great. It ends in a double DQ because Bianca just keeps getting the shit beat out of her by the two combatants. Accidentally, mind you, but that's neither here nor there. And Rhea gets some big heat by destroying both of them. Let's start with the match, I guess, first before we go into like the story implications. Vash, what did you think of the match?
The match was very good. I will say the match was definitely was entertaining. The Riptide. I'm gonna just put that out of the way. Bianca, you're gonna see yourself on the feed for a couple of days straight. The split you did, that's what I'm saying. The match, other than that, it was a beautiful count that Rhea could say she won because Bianca was outside the ring. And I think the audience counted up to 10 seconds, so that's pretty interesting to see. So I'm sure they're gonna use that as a story that she deserves to be on the triple threat now, because since the match never got a winner, and she technically could have won if Bianca wasn't outside, just being stunned the whole time. I love how the spots were kind of obvious to catch once it happened. I was like, she landed there perfectly to get the drop kick. She landed there perfectly to get the heel hit. So it just made everything see smoothly. But I like the crash out after. I love how Rhea just crashed out after and trying to look and make herself look on top.
Yeah. But what did you drop? What did you think of the match?
I thought that was this really good match. I mean, they've had good chemistry for years. So I wasn't expecting anything different when it came to these two being in the ring again. So I thought this was an awesome match between the both of them. And I wasn't surprised at the outcome because I sort of expected it to head down this direction. Because I did see some people online, like when this match was like announced last week, a lot of people were saying like, oh, Rhea Ripley's going to get her title back, or something along the lines of that, where Iyo's gonna win, so that means they're gonna move on fully to just Iyo and Bianca. And the way I looked at it, I was like, I mean, it's kind of obvious the direction it's heading down, where you have Iyo and Rhea Ripley in the same match with Bianca as a referee, where they're both gonna do something to have Bianca crash out. And that's exactly what happened, and that's why there was a double count out, and it came to a no contest. And I even mentioned that to a couple friends, and a lot of my friends. One of my friends was like, "I don't know, that sounds silly. Why would they do that?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't they do that? That's like the best outcome. Really, you don't have to agree with it and say that. Oh yeah, that's the best thing. No, it just makes sense given who's involved here, and you're not gonna leave one person out. Like you're not gonna have Rhea get pinned again." Because that would be pointless now. Because, okay, you're just going to fully move on from Rhea and you're going to leave off the card. That's not something I can realistically see at all, considering her status in the company. And and even with like I don't know, just in general, it was just so obvious what we were doing here. And I like how now we are seeing a different. I guess the best way to put it now that I notice a couple other people caught on is like the way that Rhea's been acting lately, because she was kind of doing a lot of like it could just be Rhea being Rhea, or it could be her doing like some heelish things where she's like going in there doing the riptide from the top rope, and then she's attacking Iyo again, doing this or that, because she had that little evil smile on her face. So
yeah,
it was just really interesting to see her with that. And I mean, honestly, I'm just more curious to see like what's gonna happen with this next week, because we obviously know it's gonna be a triple threat match ever since the beginning. It just depends now, like, okay, what is the excuse next week? That's what I'm really curious to tap into, because like Iyo and Bianca are safe. I'm just really curious to see what's gonna go on at Rhea now.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious how they're gonna insert Rhea now, because like technically they don't have to.
No, they really
They don't.
This was pretty much
had
like
your rematch.
Yeah, this was pretty much like your last ticket in, technically.
Yeah. And in a way, too, like, Rhea probably should have been the one to be disqualified because
Yeah.
she did, near the end, she did just blatantly attack Bianca and all that.
Yeah.
Like you could say, the boot to begin with, before the Riptide and the possible win, that was on accident. The Iyo dropkick, that was on accident. The short little beatdown before that, though, I don't know, Miss Rhea. That, and even she knew, like, she even like started freaking out a little bit and like looked at the WrestleMania sign, and then that's when she moved out of the way from that drop kick. But I'm just as curious as you are, Drop, about like how are they gonna now insert Rhea? Like, is it just gonna be a thing where Bianca and Iyo are just so pissed off that they're just like, fine, we'll both see her at Mania. Like, it could be that, but it's just like, is there maybe more to it though?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know, I thought Bianca did good the first time she refereed because it's very hard to be a referee, especially when you have to have like a meter for when you get hit and all that, and you do get stunned a lot easier when you're a referee.
I am coming to terms now where I feel like Iyo's gonna retain though.
Oh, at Mania?
I hope she does.
Yeah, because
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
because I was even talking about it with Billy today, where it's like I'm coming to. I can't really say I'm coming to terms with that because that's kind of where I thought how things were going. Because
it's kind of what I wanted.
Because of the whole Bianca and like Rhea back and forth to begin with. But I started coming to terms with where I actually, like me and you spoke about on Friday, the whole Charlotte and Tiffany thing. It's like if one person's retaining, the other person's gonna gain, and this sort of feels like this is gonna someone here is gonna retain because these two girls are gonna be so focused on themselves, and that's just gonna evolve whatever feud they have, possibly leading into SummerSlam or whatever. But it's like one of the things I did want to mention is first off, Iyo getting the flowers she deserves from the audience was nice. Same thing with Rhea when she got her moments. But I wanted to ask you, like, do you see Bianca or Rhea, and I'm not going to throw Iyo in this conversation because it's pretty clear what her status is here, but do you see either of them as a heel into this? Because as of now, they're currently all baby faces.
I mean, Rhea's the one that's acting more heelish. If Bianca was to be the heel, they would have to like go away where it's like she's being a master manipulator with it. Yeah. Which I think we had mentioned. She did wear that fur coat of like a month ago almost for the title match. It would probably be Rhea, I guess, because and you actually pointed it out too earlier. Like some of her mannerisms just tonight were back in that heelish mindset, almost in a way. How Randy Orton likes to hear voices in his head. Same thing was probably happening to Rhea. She was like tapping back into that whole heel mindset of like, oh, I can be vicious. Yeah. I can be like very brutal when I want to. And see, that's what brought her to the top. That's partially why people really fucked with Rhea. The other reason is, the whole mommy fetish, but that's neither here nor there with that. But
also acting like a child,
really,
too.
It was the do what?
Acting like a child, like Charlotte said.
See, exactly, and like, cause that's the thing for a hot minute now too. Like, Rhea was acting like a child, especially when she was around Dom. Like the whole stuff with like her and Dom like picking on Ray and all that. You could chalk that up as Charlotte thinking of that as being childish, and like in a way, yeah, because it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, it's right. It's literally right. I am just so good at the English language tonight, folks. Juvenile. There we go. It was very juvenile. Yeah. And even when she was away from Dom, she never really left that mindset with Liv. No. You could kind of chalk that up too with like how Liv kept getting one up over Rhea for so long because Rhea was still stuck in that juvenile mindset of being around Dominic Mysterio when in fact Rhea got on top on her own merits pretty much. Dom interfered here and there, but like really it was Rhea being as brutal as she was and being as dominant as she can be. And if tonight was any indication, she can tap into that and truly be a force to be reckoned with. But I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and I've been in that boat too for a while now. I think Iyo is going to retain because Rhea and Bianca are going to be so fixated on each other that Iyo is going to take advantage of that, because Io's not dumb. Like, Iyo will take advantage of it, whether she's a face or a heel. She will make sure that she walks out of there the world champion and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, but I thought this whole segment was really good, you know?
It was good.
Again, yeah.
I'll say it was good, satisfying, even if it was predictable for most of us. Like, we predicted this in the Gunther segment last week, and even after the results, I'm okay with what I saw. I'm okay with what happened with the Rhea crashing out.
Yeah.
We've been seeing the fragments of her crashing out since 3 weeks ago. She did a whole emotional segment that we were actually like, wait, why is she crashing out again next week? And then she's still going on. Girl's going on a spiral. It reminds me a bit of what's going on with NXT of Trick Williams. Like, he lost his title and he's just lost the ball on the prize. Like, that's not there no more. So what's going on? So I like the character of what Rhea's becoming. As long as it gets executed right, we just got to see what happens for next week. Are we going to get a lineup with a triple threat? Or are we just going to stick to the guns and have Rhea versus Iyo? Or are we going to have... Bianca versus Iyo, but we're gonna include Rhea and have Rhea take the pin to actually feel like, yo, she got once again pinned by Iyo, and the streak of Bianca still got protected, just not lost because girl didn't get pinned. It works out.
Okay, I could see that mindset, I guess, but all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on, because we got a couple other segments gonna hit tonight. So we got our IC title picture, both men's, kind of women's as well. That's kind of thrown in here, and don't worry, even though we're throwing it in here as well, WWE's throwing it in there as well. So, you know, that's all good and all that. But we had a tag team match to kind of start off with. We had Bron Breakker and Penta taking on Dirty Ass Dom and Finn Balor because of what happened last week. Let's start with the match first, like, because there's many segments of this where it goes from like the match, Judgment Day, Penta and Braun back there, and the little bit we got of our IC champion on the women's side. So let's start with the match first. Thought the match was fun overall, with Braun and Penta just deciding to be on the same page, even though Penta wants that IC title very badly. And I realize this too. Braun is a really good tag team partner, because like there were a couple moments where he like was able to set something up for Penta and all that. Like, he was able to kind of read Penta a little bit. Like, they hadn't tagged at all or ever. So for this being their first tag team match, you know, they worked good as a team. But I mean, Finn and Dom, they just know each other so well. They know how to be manipulative and how to come up with a plan. And they came up with a plan that kind of felt clunky at first, I think. Where it's like, oh, Dom's going to hold Penta for a bit, but Finn's going to eat a spear, but doesn't eat a spear. But once Dom lets go to Penta, Penta's just in the right spot to eat the spear. It was kind of weird setup, and I kind of explained it a little weird as well, but that's neither here nor there. The end result basically was Braun hitting Penta with a spear, and Finn taking advantage, hitting the coup de grace, Penta eating his first pinfall loss, even though it was in a tag team match, which is fine. You know, it's not singles match.
Yeah.
It was, and there's still a little asterisk with it, where it's like, it was kind of Bron Breakker's fault. What'd you guys think of the match, first of all, as before we get into like some of the story elements of all this? Because again, I thought this was really fun, and I mean the whole story here too is just Judgment Day trying to come back together and be that team again. Yeah,
look,
Drop. Why don't you start us off with this? Oh no, go ahead, Vash. You went. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Finn finally got a W and he took a win. I know he even tweeted like, "Yo, Finn is back."
Listen to Finn.
I just love how he literally tweeted like, "Look, guys, Finn won. I am back. He did what he did. I know also JD might be showing up soon, since they also said in the back saying that we might not need a tag team or a new member. So that's also something I wanted to mention, since we saw the report that JD may be coming back anytime soon, and from the interview he did with Chris Invite. But when it comes to the match, I also want to involve that the spear that he did by accident on Penta was really well, trying to help out. Like Don was trying to help out Finn, like, hey, look, be careful. And then just putting Penta in the way, got the spear. It was really good executed in that part. The chemistry between JD, my apologies, not JD. The chemistry between Dominic and Finn was very well. It shows that from what was said in the backstage, that they're hermanos, they're brothers, they always got each other back no matter what. But I do agree with what Watkins brought up in the beginning, saying that our boy Bron Breakker has some really good tag team quality. Because remember, who was he tag team recently last year before he came to the main roster? He was with Baron Corbin. They were the Wolf Dogs, and they had a good ass run as well. They won the Dusty Classic Cups, I believe, for the tag team. So that was really good to see. So I'm glad to always see Bron Breakker work with others, because he is a good tag team partner. He knows how to do great setups or also good finishers with them, because it's been with Baron Corbin. I think he had a short run with Carmelo as well. Not too sure if I remember correctly. But John, what else do you want to add?
So I will say this was a fun match between the both of them, because I was very interested to see how this story was going to evolve, because the current rumor as of right now is that this is going to turn into a fatal four-way with all four of these competitors, where you're going to have Penta, Finn, Dominic, and Bron Breakker. And one of the things I can say that I do like about this fatal four-way is that there's tension between both parties, because even though things are fine now, there's obviously past tension between Finn and Dom, and then now, because of what happened, because of the whole spear incident with Ron, hitting a spear on Penta, now there's starting to be some inner turmoil between both of those guys. So I do kind of like that little similarity with like all four guys. So I'm, starting to like get behind it, and I'm also not upset about the pin loss for Penta, because he got pinned by Finn Balor. And when you look at it like that, that's an established name. He's a pretty big deal when it comes to main eventers, even though he's not really portrayed that way right now. And also, Finn definitely needed some more momentum. And if you were to take momentum from someone, I mean, Penta is the best person, really, because he's been completely protected ever since he made his debut. So I honestly feel like this doesn't hurt Penta at all. If anything, it kind of boosts his chances even further to potentially walk out of Mania with that IC title, because now that he's pinned, now you got that whole question popping up now, where it's like, oh, maybe there's a chance. Maybe since he's not walking in there undefeated, maybe there's a chance where he picks up the win. He has his first title reign as an IC champion. He has that for a little bit, which, well deserved. He was doing tremendous job. I definitely expect the same from his brother once Rey Fenix debuts on Friday, which, oh my god, please handle that music. Please handle that. They're handling the presentation with Penta very well. I would hope the best for. I would assume Rey Fenix is gonna get the same treatment, but again, no stupid music. But I do like how I do like how this is all coming together. Like I said, so I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening in these next 2 episodes of Monday Night Raw. Once we dive into that Fatal 4-Way match for the IC title, which, for all we know, could be. I would think it would probably be confirmed next week, because it'd kind of be weird if it's like the go home show.
I would assume so.
It'd be weird if it's like the go home show. It gets confirmed. It's like, oh my god! By the way, we're gonna confirm this match, a couple days before Mania. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
But next week, I feel like we're gonna be the best bet for that. And those are my initial thoughts on that, really.
Well, Yeah, and I agree with you too there. It's just like I like how we're setting all of this up because, like you said, we're having tension between both sides. Like as we had seen later on, Penta is pissed
Yeah.
at Braun
Oh
for
boy.
causing him his first loss. Like literally going up to this man went up to Braun Breaker and called him stupid. Like
Don't be those.
I
Don't
don't
be
care
those.
who you are. I
Exactly.
am never calling somebody like Braun Breaker stupid to their face. I will say that right now. I mean, maybe if he pissed me off enough, but like even still, I second guess that. I would quadruple guess that little decision. But yeah, I like how this is getting set up though. Like I really liked it because it's like Penta has an issue and wants to go after Braun because of what happened with the Judgment Day. And now that we see what's going on with the Judgment Day, I mean, they had a segment before and after this match where like you can kind of get this fake mood coming around where like Liv and Raquel are trying to, put on this fake smile, this fake face for Finn and kind of Carlito as well. Oh yeah, like very much two-faced. And Finn's trying to be confident about it. Like it's very weird because like Finn, he's kind of being very obvious with how he's acting, especially with the wording. And Liv even points it out later on. She's like, "Yeah, he didn't say that we won or that you guys won. He's saying that Finn won." Like he's very much focused on himself and not the group, which we've seen that time and time again. I mean, that's partially why Priest and Rhea left, is because Finn he was jealous of Priest, of not being a world champion in Judgment Day and not being the de facto leader and all that, not being in charge and everything. So we're seeing more and more of that coming together and all that. And like with Liv telling Dom, hey, after he's done talking to Pierce, why don't you go talk to him? Because, I mean, you could use a shot. Why not? So, like, again, I like how this is getting set up because it's like Finn goes to Pierce and be like, I want the shot. Penta goes to Pierce. He's just like, I want the shot. And then Dom goes up to him. He's just like, I want the shot. Like, yeah, they all want the shot. They all should get the shot.
Yeah.
That's literally me right there saying Dominic Mysterio should get a shot at the IC title. So, make sure you recognize that thing, folks. But all of them have a legit reason to go after Braun Breaker. Yeah. All right. Let's set it up. Let's do this thing and all that. And like, let's. Mm-hmm.
What I like that you brought up is that it makes it believable, but that Braun Breaker needs 3 people to take him out of how he's such a menace, the strength that he is, the spears he does, and how commentary hypes him up as the animal that he is. Like, it shows that he's unstoppable. Like, as a one-on-one with Penta, it could go either way. But against Finn as well. But with Dom, it's like, man, that's like your ratio. Like, Dom, you will get ratio by Braun Breaker. So it shows that having 3 people in a Fatal 4 against Braun Breaker, it works out. So like it gives it that math that we might get from Braun Breaker, like that 25% math that we might get. So I would love to hear that as well. If we do get that a promo from Braun Breaker, imagine him trying to repeat the same math that his uncle did.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Braun Breaker, I believe it was uncle, his father. The Steiner's math.
You're talking about the Steiner math. Oh, that was his uncle. Yeah.
That was uncle, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. It's funny you mentioned, it's going to take 3 people to take out Braun. I still don't see Braun losing that title at Mania. I still see him retaining. Probably pitting Finn to continue the story with like him and Dom's kind of downfall and all that. But like there could also be a thing where it's like Dom could walk away with that win.
That's my
like,
choice.
Maybe he could.
I think
either way.
That's my choice.
I think either way, Finn's gonna be eating the pin. Yes, rhyming intended. Yeah, I think either way, Finn's gonna be the one to take the loss. That way, it still kind of protects Braun and Penta. So you can still continue a program with those 2, but like the story beat with like the Judgment Day can continue on with Dom walking away with the IC title. But Drop, what are your thoughts on like the whole Judgment Day aspect that went into this tag team match?
I mean, I feel like whatever stems from here is going to carry over into Mania and then probably carry over into Backlash. That's usually a sequel to Mania to begin with, usually to get your revenge on whatever transpired there. So, I mean, it was interesting, to say the very least, when it came to how things were forming here and all. But
yeah,
as of what I could possibly see at Mania, I'm gonna still stick with my answer and say Penta.
Yeah. See, yeah, Penta's not a bad shout either. Penta's not a bad shout either. But speaking of IC title things, though, yeah. So here's why we're lumping this in here. So before the tag match, when the boys walk away, Liv mentions to Raquel, so about Lyra and Bayley.
Yeah, I don't like.
And
this.
then later on, we find out from Lyra that she's going to be facing Bayley next week for the IC title. And I'm sitting here thinking, what are we doing? Because A, it's not only just the complaints I've been having about the women's IC title with like, just what are we doing with it? What are we doing with the women's tag titles? Are we not going to focus on them? I mean, you literally have Finn during a backstage promo, during that backstage segment, being like, I'm going to bring gold back to the Judgment Day, which, yeah, you could chalk that up of him, like, being just self-centered and all that. Judgment Day has gold. They have some gold. They have the women's tag titles, which, yes, is a thing. Why are we not doing more with that? Why can't we do more with that? You know, instead we're shoving Liv into a thing with Jade, which, you know, enhanced that story pretty well. That was fine. But, like, we're not doing anything with these tag titles? We're not setting up a program for Mania for those? Or even, dare I say, stand and deliver for those? Because, you know, NXT has a crop of wonderful female talent that could, and a lot of them are tag teams. Why can we not set something up for them? Can we not do something for them? If you're not going to have the women's tag titles on WrestleMania, you could do something at Stand and Deliver. Instead, you're doing nothing, and they're focusing on the IC title, which already has dick to do. Like, and we're getting Lyra and Bayley next week. Like, please tell me we're not. Drop. It might be another multi-man Mania. It might be another multi-man. Where they're like, oh, just shove them all in there for fatal four-way or triple threat or whatever. It's just like, no. We could have just led towards Bayley and Lyra in a singles match. And, I mean, I saw somebody added this in here, too. Where the fuck is Roxanne? Where's Roxanne Perez been this whole time? I don't... What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, Mr. Positivity. What are we fucking doing here?
Look, I brought it up here for the exact reason to ask, what the fuck are we doing? We had a good possibility to feud of Roxanne and Bayley. We had a good feud to bring Roxanne to the main roster with the transition from WrestleMania. I don't know what they're doing right now with NXT with Roxanne, since she just took her first pen loss without the title from Jordan Grayson already, so so that's a perfect time to kind of sneak her into the main roster and continue the WrestleMania feud, or even then deliver with Roxanne and Bayley. But they kind of dropped that. They could still pick that up maybe with tomorrow. After that, it's kind of hard to reintroduce a story when it already got faded out. But when it comes to Raquel going for the IC title, it just felt like a shot in the wall. They're saying, yeah, you're gonna bring gold back to Judgment Day. I'm like, they already have gold. They might not be full gold, but they're gold and white or silver, but they have title right on the waist or shoulders, and you're ignoring that after. But also we have no build up, I believe us three were saying that we might see not Piper, what's her name up? It was Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. We might see that WrestleMania. Now we have nothing of a lead up towards an NXT tag title.
2 weeks.
I don't see that anymore.
So, are we going to introduce
Yeah.
something within the next 2 weeks for Raw SmackDown? Since
No.
these tag titles of women could go to any of these 3 shows of Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, and we're not getting nothing from that. So, like I say, make it make sense. And additionally, when it comes to Lyra going Bailey for the title, why couldn't you just say, yo, Bailey, I want to make it big. You know what? I'm going to make a statement. You and me at WrestleMania for the title. Since I lost to you a couple months ago, let's make it big and let's make it official. I'm going to talk to Adam Pearce. Why you got to say that for next Monday? Because then after that, if you win, are you going to do, hey, let's make it a 2 out of 3. I got that first loss. I got that win now. It just feels nothing. So if you're not going to give no explanation of why there's no build up, so, Triple H, the one that I will say, after this WrestleMania season and we start new for our season 42, you better start fresh and you better have a better build-up for the mid-card titles that you introduced the beginning of this year to have more TV time for our mid-carders. We're not just the same repeat ones. Where's Dakota? Where's our girl Ivana and the others that are supposed to build up? Where's some competition? No type of number one contender. Where's the tournament that we used to do of a 2-week time frame to build up for another match for the IC title and then have it at the PLE? Where was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no tournament because I think that's kind of lazy, almost like Battle Royale. It's kind of lazy always to venture down that direction whenever you're trying to find a number one contender. The best thing, basically like the way I really see things going, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the thing with, I will say this, the thing with Bailey and Lyra, I would have saved that for WrestleMania because it definitely seems like Bailey's taking whatever they initially had planned with Becky. And that would have potentially been the program if they wanted to have that match there, but you know, that's happening next week. And more than likely the result of that match, Liv and Raquel get involved considering the beef that they have with them already. So Lyra's still going to have her title. It's just going to end in like a no contest because they're going to go out there to troll the girls and everything. So that's how I see that transpiring. But the thing that I do not like about this whole entire scenario is that the IC title is not getting defended at WrestleMania. More than likely, the way that they're doing things as of right now, it's more than likely going to turn into a thing where it's Lyra and Bailey against Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania for those tag titles. That's how I see it. So again, no IC title being defended there. I don't know why, because that's the first show it's going to be on there. So you would think in the back of your head that would have happened. And you never know. Maybe I'm wrong and the IC title gets defended there. But based on what we're looking at right now, I do not see that happening. The whole thing that was pretty much there ever since Royal Rumble with Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan, and then it even continued in the Elimination Chamber when Liv took out Alexa again. That was an easy shoe-in for a program with Liv and Raquel against Alexa and Nikki Cross heading into WrestleMania. Like, the cards were there to really have that happen, but I don't really see it being a thing anymore, especially doing it in like 2 weeks, because you would have had a little something going on. Even if it wasn't something like super crazy, would have at least had a little something going on to really have like some sort of momentum between both of them. But we don't even know if Alexa is going to be a part of the Mania card. And as of this moment, I don't think I really want to see the program right now, because it just seems like, okay, we're making it next week, and then we only have like, 2 more shows. I just wouldn't like that. But yeah, that's how I see the direction is Bailey and Lyra against those tag titles. And there's also a possibility where Lyra, and let's say if Lyra and Bailey don't walk out those titles, I don't think it doesn't do anything to Bailey because Bailey's bulletproof at this point. But when it comes to Lyra's case, knowing how she's the IC title, the women's IC champion, that hurts her again because she's a champion and she's losing a match. And normally when you're a champion, you want to make sure you have that rep. And when it comes to the time when you lose your title, you lose your title. Or if it's one of those things, which I let slide every so often when it comes to you getting pinned to build up to a match, that's fine when it happens every so often, depending how it's structured, of course. But it's like, it definitely just seems like something thrown together at this point. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
And
some things are right in your
Mhm.
face, and then go down a different direction.
Yeah, because like we've kind of reached this time of WrestleMania season, or at least the build up to WrestleMania. We basically have our marquee matches set. It's all about kind of filling in the rest of the mid card before like getting to those bigger matches and all that. So like it just kind of sucks where like the women's mid card title like is in that position where it's like there's nothing of substance happening, and even if there is, it just feels so bare bones. It's almost to the point where it's like, okay, is this gonna be a bathroom break? Because I don't want it. It shouldn't be a bathroom break. You guys already have enough time between matches for bathroom breaks, you know. That you
Yeah,
should not have a bathroom break match.
I hope not, because I believe we're also originally planned to do a sidecast for that. So who knows when the time comes. So
Yeah.
hopefully when that match is there, I'm like, then you know, hey, Walkers, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some dinner or grab some pizza real quick, since it looks like a time of two people that did not have a feud that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We don't even know
So-
anything's going on with Chelsea either. If you want to throw that in there real quick, just since they're both the same thing right now, we could even say I mean, I guess at least there's some legs with that, with the whole Zelina thing, but still, we don't even know if that's going to be a thing
Yeah.
at Mania, just because of how they've been
Yeah.
treating those titles.
That's at least got something. Like at
Yeah.
least Chelsea Green's reign has
Yeah.
at least had some. She literally created a stable from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
The-
she's
the
given
sister-
Alba Fire something to do.
Yeah, the
You
her
know,
service.
yeah.
The her service. Yeah, we at least have something with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like there's at least something, whether or not it's something of great substance or other, that's all subjective at the end of the day, because we all like what we like and everything. It's just, man, especially when you think of the Intercontinental Championship, and like this has just been an argument for years about how they treat mid card titles half the time. Because like I remember. Like back in like 2016, 2017 time, it's just like, okay, what we're doing with the US title, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. And then like you just flip that the next year for, oh, they're not doing anything with the IC title. Why is that title even a thing? You care about our mid-card titles. They're doing more about the US title now. Like, it's all about importance. You got to make us want to believe and want us to enjoy these titles too. But,
Yeah.
that it can also go into a whole discussion that we've already had about titles and all that bullshit.
Happened.
All right, well,
Crazy.
let's just kind of move on from all that, because I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But it sucks. It really, really, really sucks, because
I agree.
talent involved are really good, and they deserve a little bit better than what they're given. Yeah. AJ Styles and Logan Paul, they have a face-off, and they also got their match announced now, so they will be facing each other at WrestleMania. Cool, neat. The segment was all right. They both kind of forgive each other for certain things. So like Logan Paul forgives AJ for the whole Madison Square Garden debacle. AJ forgives Paul for being a douchebag, and yeah, Logan just says he doesn't fight for free, and he just points at the sign and says, AJ, I'll fight you at Mania. They have a bit of a brawl, and Logan comes out on top with his little finisher of the pulverizer. Yeah, I mean, the segment was fine.
They don't really do anything.
Crowd
for
just
me.
does not like Logan Paul. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, it didn't really do anything.
it was there to be there.
It didn't really do
Yeah.
anything for me. Like, we already know the match is going to be great. I'm not going to put it past them
Yeah.
because they're both great performers. But it didn't really do anything for me. Because, I mean, the whole story here, really, if you want to make one up on your own, is who's going to outperform the other. Who's going to be like the top dog in this scenario. That's essentially what it is. It's going to be one of those matches that's going to hit and you're going to remember over the weekend, just to have those little things here and there. So I'm not going to say that I'm not excited for this match, because I do like I love AJ Styles, and I acknowledge that Logan Paul is a good wrestler. So I'm not going to take that away from him because he's given us great matches with Roman. He gave us a good match at Ricochet a couple years ago. So it's like, it should be fun once we get there. But other than that, I mean, there really isn't anything for me to really grab onto here.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I
be
mean,
honest.
it'll be a payday for both of them.
Oh yeah, they're both getting paid. I mean, hey, both girl
dads.
dads.
Exactly. Yeah, both girl dads too. So that's cool. That's neat. Vash, you have anything to add? Did you see something more deep?
No, I did not see nothing more deep. There was no.
So your favorite segment?
No, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I was gonna go on with a joke, but nope. I have nothing much to add. You guys executed it well, like you guys said. The polarizer, that was a pretty cool move. The move works where it was executed. Yeah, he did modify a bit more, so I like he did. It looked a bit different from what I saw a few clips online comparing from one he did previously to the second time. And AJ Styles, I know, is gonna help him look good when the time comes, because AJ Styles is I believe in the last 5 years or last 3 years of wrestling. So I know that the time is coming close, and I know right now we have maybe one more world champion run, and right now helping Logan Paul if he wants to take this seriously. Help him look good, because he does look good as a wrestler. As a person, that's different. But when it comes to as a wrestler, he is good at what he does. That's all I got.
Yeah, I won't take that away from him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, he knows how to work a crowd a bit. I mean, he kept calling everybody poor. It's just like, that guy probably did use his life savings to get that ticket.
Especially how much they cost nowadays.
Oh my god.
God, dude.
I get scared.
And half a lung.
I get scared when I have kids and they love wrestling as much as I do, and I want to take my wife. We have like four, like myself, my partner, and imagine 2 kids, just 4 people going to the event. That's like almost like 2 G's right there.
Well, here's the thing, Vash. First off, hopefully what we have here takes off so you can afford that.
True, yes. We go God's press. We have exclusive.
Not only that, I'm just saying.
talking about like a regular people. Like imagine a regular people, like not us in the press world. And us, we get called Triple H. I have his number. Like, yo, we're gonna cover your show. What's up?
Oh well, if that's the case, you're gonna have to sell an arm, a leg, and half a lung. So you're not gonna really work around that at all.
Yeah, that's the same part. So I feel bad for the regular people out there. Like, that's just expensive. I
don't know how they do it.
Even in New York, go to Madison Square Garden or Barclays Center. Like a good seat now costs $300. At least a good seat that you can at least see a good crowd. Be probably by the camera and everything. Have a good sign that gets caught and everything. Yeah. But at some point, it's like, is it better just being at home and just hearing the commentary and you just have your own music, your own food, same thing? So you got to pick and choose.
That's my preference.
Even you, green shirt guy. Yeah. Like, how do you afford it? Because we know
I'm almost
apparently they don't give comp tickets anymore. So
okay,
apparently
maybe he has someone that's in the business that helps him out. That's all I can.
Maybe he's in the business of wearing a green shirt.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, as the boy said, not much to really. As you saw, we weren't really talking about this segment much at all because there wasn't really much. It's just, hey, these guys don't like each other. Let's have a match at WrestleMania. Cool, great, awesome. Get that bag, guys. The last thing we'll mention here tonight was the New Day trying to gain some momentum, get a shot at the World Tag Team titles. Because hey, Raw has a set of tag team titles. We can't forget about them, right?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
They took on New Catch Republic.
They're back!
Returning Tyler Bate. Oh, the biggest strong little boy ever. And okay, the whole time during the entrance and partially through the match, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, Pete Dunne was a heel.
Yes,
really not that long ago.
I was so confused.
I was like, what? I mean, I guess maybe just that hometown pop. Is he gonna turn on Tyler Bate soon? What's going on here?
Walk-ins, all it.
Oh,
don't even. Just a little flashbang from Men in Black.
What year is it?
I did see like a little segment backstage. I didn't click on the video, but apparently,
Oh, okay.
Tyler Bates trying to help him out. So like, because he said like, oh, your head's loose and everything along the lines of that. So he's trying to keep him in check again. What I am happy that Tyler Bate is back. One of the things I did notice that I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think Vash did, but maybe you have. He has this OG look.
Oh, with like his mustache and or like the darker
and the haircut. Like, remember when he first came up, he had like that.
Yeah,
yeah, he has an OG look on him.
Oh,
yeah, because
right.
because I believe I mentioned it during us watching. Like, yeah, he has a different look, same style, but just a different type of get up. So I did notice that. I just didn't know if it was a reference to his old look or something.
Yeah, it was the first look he had. He had that short hair. He had his mustache styled that way. Like, that was basically like the OG Tyler Bate look before you had like his hair grown out and everything. Like, that's literally what he looked like when he was in the NXT UK.
Okay. Oh man, I noticed the mustache first. I was just the stash is back,
and that's a dangerous Tyler Bate.
I can't wait. Probably they're both heels. Probably Pete Dunne spoke to Tyler. Yo, you're back. Yo, we're gonna be heels again. All right, we're gonna be go hard. But who knows? Since it's New Catch Republic, they seem like all positive. I felt the same thing like Watkins. I was thrown off.
I don't think
while the match was happening, I stepped away, but then I came back and I see the match going on. I'm like, wait a minute. If Pete Dunne is supposed to be a heel, and then how does this work? Like, is there no context? Hopefully, we get some context next week. We're gonna get some War Raiders.
Well, Drop mentioned the context. There was this backstage segment, which it might have been during one of the ad breaks, or maybe it was just like an actual exclusive for YouTube or something.
Yeah, it was a segment where he was talking about how he's trying to help him out because his head's loose and everything, so he's trying to keep him in check.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what their relationship was. He's normally the guy that keeps him in check because of how he acts, because Pete Dunne's pretty much a person who does whatever the fuck he wants. Tyler Bate is usually the one in control, keeping things in line, so it's basically following
He's
that.
the zened out one.
Yeah, it's basically following that sort of relationship that they had. So,
yeah.
But
I mean, we have to find out who's the best new version of their team and all that. And it turns out to be the New Day. They pull out the win here.
It's all right.
The match was fine for what it was. I mean, again, it got a bit of a hometown pop. But really just to kind of give the New Day, and I hate saying this, but I mean, it's just the nature of just positions on the card and all that. But it was just a way to give a New Day the win and some sort of momentum to go for the War Raiders tag titles. Because again, hey, Raw has tag team championships. Did you guys forget? No, you didn't. They've been here the whole time.
You know what?
I slightly forgot. No lie, I did.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna come out and say this. Just give New Day the titles. That should have been the initial plan to begin with. But I if I were to make the decision now, if it's just gonna be those two at Mania, because honestly, it doesn't really seem like any other people are really fucking around with each other on there. Just give New Day the titles, really. I mean, that makes the most sense right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, not too much to go off of here. No. Just a good match, you know. Right person, right team won and all that. And so honestly, with that being said, let's just go into our final thoughts and outro, really. Because I thought this was a very strong Raw. A lot of stuff building up from for our marquee matches at WrestleMania. A few things here and there could have been better with, you know, the lower mid card, but I think we're gonna shape up to have a really good WrestleMania, all things considered, especially when we get the card fully fleshed out. But yeah, I mean, Vash had mentioned it earlier. This does have a strong contender to be one of the best Raws of the year, but you know, I'm just gonna hold off on that right now, just because it was a strong episode. But speaking of you, Vash, what'd you think of Raw tonight?
Look, man, the Visioner wasn't here tonight, but he is here to tell you a vision, at least on my end, that this was a very good executed Raw episode. many fans, many other content creators, JD, Santi, a few of the people was very proud of this Monday night, pushing the fuse, pushing the storyline of Jay and Gunther. We have the storyline between John and Cody. We have the confusion. Fatal 4, Fatal 5, depending where it leads up to, is the IC title. We also had Ludwig Kaiser tonight having a promo saying that, hey, you got to take me serious when it comes to a single competitor. This was a promo after the, I believe before the Bron Breakker stuff and everything, or after. So one other, and this was a promo work during the US commercials. And I would say, like, you cannot be forgetting about Ludwig. He might be involving back. He might be a Fatal 5, or he might be an opponent for Bron Breakker again in the future after Backlash if he's still champion. But this Monday Night Raw of WWE was very good. The only thing that was the weakest for me was the last segment. That's why I didn't say much about it, because I didn't care for the New Day, because the New Day started to feel cold for me. So them coming back is like, oh yeah, forgot about them. Kind of like the same thing with the White Sickles. Like, they kind of also feeling cold. So once they come back, I just gotta reignite with them. Gotta connect with them. So if the New Day gets the tag title like Job said, I'm okay with it. As long as we do something with them. We also been saying what happened with Big E. Is he still healing? Are we hearing something with him about the stem cells or something? So a lot of their stories starting to feel cold for me. Yeah. At them, I'm okay. I'll move on. Drop, how about you? Any last thoughts or quick plugs?
The only thing I will say here is I'm happy we had some promo segments with Cody and John tonight when it came to them really going at each other, because I felt like that was definitely needed outside of what we were getting before. So it was a nice change to really start off the show with that. I, again, like where things are heading with Jay and Gunther heading into WrestleMania. I'm expecting to see like a more serious Jay next week. So that's definitely has me intrigued to tune into next week's show to see how that takes off. Other than that, really, I mean, besides what we talked about, because I don't want to reiterate too much, I thought it was a pretty good episode of Raw tonight.
Oh yeah, okay. Definitely good. Definitely good episode of Raw. So yeah, again, that was Monday Night Raw, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Next week we'll be back to our normal times of things, so you'll be able to catch me and Vash on the Twitch machine as we live react to Monday Night Raw happening and all that throughout the show. And then later on around 11:15 time will be this very show where we talk about everything, break it down and all that. And as usual, we got our Grappling with the Weeks every Thursday. We've got SmackDown that'll also be returning to its normal time of like 11:30-ish to talk about the show and everything. And God, I can't wait for that to go back to 2 hours. Is it, what was it, May or June it's supposed to go back?
June. I think it was June was the end of the contract that the reporters came in out. The writers or Triple H said that they're not happy with the results of the 3. I'm like, you guys should have seen this coming.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, you guys should have seen it coming. Not gonna lie, y'all. Y'all, I will say the 3-hour format has been a little bit more palatable the past couple weeks.
Yeah, on Raw,
mainly on SmackDown, but I think part of that might have to do because it was starting at 3 p.m. and not 8 p.m. But that's neither here nor that. But yeah, again, that was Monday Night Raw. Be sure to stay tuned for all of our wonderful content that will be coming out here soon, coming up on the channel. But yeah, so thank you once again for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, right there, down below, right underneath me, actually, in that nice yellow space down there, there's a bunch of handles on there. There's at Anima Studio, that is the parent company of where Weebs of the Ring branched away from. There's at Legendy Vash, there's at Drop This Box, and of course at Watkins MW. That is that are the handles that we use personally on our own social media. So hey, be sure to give us all a follow on those social medias. Talk with us and all that. We like to hang out. We like to talk to you, everybody. And of course, we do have a hashtag known as Weebs of the Ring, where you can talk with us before, during, or after these nice little shows. Because we love to talk to you guys. We want to keep the content going. We want to keep the conversation going, and we want to make sure that you guys are having a good time. And also, it's a great way to give us feedback because we like to continue to strive to be better than we were each and every episode. So, best way to do that is use the hashtag. Yeah, so again, thank you for checking us out. Weebs the Ring was presented by Anima We Studio. Again, thanks to our production team for all the hard work that they put in every single day. And just remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Stu, hopefully your heart has been healed just slightly. You won't have to deal with John too much longer, being a jerk to you, but hopefully you're good out there and all that. Just make sure you take some time for yourself, Stu. So, as always, people, we've been your Weebs of the Ring. We will catch you guys on Thursday for our episode of Grappling with the Week. Have a good night, everybody, and be sure to stay strong and stay healthy.
See you guys.
Build empires for kids.